Hello everyone, welcome to another Iceberg Interactive Twitch stream. Today we're gonna continuing our game, we're gonna be starting a new game of Oriental Empires. So we got a couple of people here. We will be playing with fairly standard rules, and if you guys want to join in, you can still do so still now. If you hurry up, we're gonna be starting in a bit. And the more the merrier, to be honest. If you have any questions or comments about the game, drop them in the chat here. If you like what you're seeing, please give us a follow, that would be much appreciated. And of course, if you like the game itself, click the banner down below, head over to the Steam page, and you can get all the information you want on it. Joining me today are... well, we got me, obviously, we got Cabbage playing Yan, Dr. Beekman playing Y, Sunvone playing Ba, and a name I dare not doubt to pronounce playing Shang. So we're gonna see if everyone's ready, and then we are gonna kick off this game. Hey, how's it going, Gage? How you doing? Glad you could make it. Alright, people seem to be ready. Sunbone is also done. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna hit start game. Game's loading up. We have 3 minutes per turn, so there is we need to hurry it up a bit. Hey Mondat, how's it going? We are Farming Nation, that's correct. We're going to be starting playing, and we have a tricky starting position, I must say, in between the mountains. We have water, we have mountains, we have some difficult terrain and difficult places to explore or expand towards. So we're going to be scouting ahead a little bit. And there is someone to my immediate north, which is Chang. Let's offer a nice little thing to our friends. Let's recruit some nobles, and to the north we're gonna recruit some more troops and some settlers, and we're gonna send out our second group of settlers probably over here. That's all we need to do for now. No, not at all. We need to be farming, obviously, so we're gonna queue up some farms. And we are going to be selecting some tags. I'm going with my starting technologies pretty much, I think. Want to rush the well-field system. I'm going to start doing bronze making, because that will allow me to clear forest and therefore get additional tiles to farm on. And I'm going to raise my authority to get more cities. There we go. I think that will be our start for today. And good luck, have fun everyone. So, I'm going to introduce again the other players we got here. We have Cabbage playing Yan. Cabbage has joined us before. We have Dr. Beekman, who has also joined us before. We had a good number of games with him already. It's glad to see him again. We have Sunvone playing Ba, and for those of you who don't know Sunvone yet, go over to the Steam Community Hub, set guides, and check out his guide. He wrote... well, one of the most detailed guides I've ever seen about the game. If you want to learn more about it, definitely head over there and check it out. It's a great guide to read, and it will greatly increase your understanding of the game mechanics, most likely. So just a little shout out to that. Thank you, Sunvone, for making that, and please be sure to check it out. And then we have a new player who, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the Chinese name, and who is playing Shang, and he is to my direct north. I'm going to speed up turn resolution here as per agreements, just so we can get more turns in, basically. If you guys have any idea on what my strategy should be, I'm all ears. I definitely need all the help I can get in these type of games. I'm going to rush for this encounter opportunity, as there's a rich merchant here. He might be able to help us, and I want to get additional settlements ASAP. So farming is going well. That's all we need to do for now. We could send out our other group, but I don't want to do that. Well, let's make friendly contact, I suppose. We could do that. So I could send my my noble north to discover their city fully, so we can engage in diplomacy. 28,000 words, says King of Manners, for the guide by Sanvon. That's a lot of words. That's pretty darn good. Alright. So we have the encounter opportunity and we get some additional gold, and gold is always welcome. So that's good. That was a good encounter opportunity and nice to be able to rush to there. Next we encountered a new power. Well, native Chinese, I suppose. And I want to engage in diplomacy with them. So let's continue up to his city. I do want to make sure that he won't start raiding. And we're playing a very interesting map mode here, because we're playing a map type called the Americas. That means that there are two big subcontinents which are connected only by a small piece of land. Ouch! And here we have another player. We have here, most likely Shang. That is interesting. And we could see if we could take these guys out. Alright, and then we go over here, and I'm going to continue to farm. That's alright. We cannot recruit anything yet for a couple of turns until our population starts to grow, or until about 5 turns from now. But we're just going to push on. Head over north, continuing there. I think that's all we need to do. Let's wait for the final player. There we go. So we are finding some other troops. We're finding the town of Zhang over here. And honestly, I want to see if I can take it. They have some good troops in the area. And we're gonna found our second town here, the town of Gusu, which is a pretty decent location, I guess. And also here we have a nice area as well. I want to do it here, I think. Here we will also get the mulberry here in the end. Let's settle over here. Looks nice. And so we now made formal contact with the new site, so we're gonna offer them something nice. Let's offer a fraternal harmony pact. And we can share a little bit in the wealth. We got some extra wealth, so we can share that to try and convince them to join our side. Otherwise, Gusu is at risk of being taken. Alright, and the battle commences. I have to speed it up, but our main guys are in war. Our flanking troops are coming up. There is a second battle going on though, when they retreat, and we are trying to actually take on the city. And we managed to take it, routing the other group. Now we're gonna try and make peace, I guess. I want to found a city here, because there is no need for a prolonged war. We cannot, because we lost connection to them. That's okay. So I need to be recruiting new troops and reinforce our settlement, our new settlement. We've also spotted Ba by Sanvon. We cannot engage in diplomacy with him yet, though. That's alright. I'm gonna send back my troop, because I will need my troops elsewhere. We're gonna occupy the settlement because it has the rhino resource, which is pretty nice. We have the offer here. They accept our Fraternal Harmony Pact. We encountered a new power, the Ba, so hello Ba, let's make a treaty. We cannot recruit any troops at the moment. That is unfortunate. Reminds me a little bit of Empire Earth 2. Wow, that was a while ago that I played that one. I suppose it's somewhat similar. Though obviously it not being real time makes it play rather differently. Alright. Actually, why are you not farming? You should continue to grow. That's alright. So we have a little bit of a small map going on here. Generally, you know, the map would be bigger, of course, but for the multiplayer game here especially, we want to have a little bit of a smaller map so the action starts off quicker. There is not as much a build up, but you can very much do that if you want to play on a huge map with 3 players and really build up for hours and hours before you get to these huge battles. The game is equipped to handle that as well. There's a battle to the north, which probably means that Sanvon is also expanding. And we have some technologies being completed, which is always a good thing. So let's have a look at what technologies we got. So our well field system is not quite done yet. Over here we can start clearing forest, which is always nice. And I'm also going to do some of the other technologies here to further increase my authority and my culture. Now the town of Zhang, we can finally operate it, so we can recruit some troops here. There we go, we got ourselves a garrison. I'm going to send 1 unit south to try and scout our enemy, or frenemy perhaps. Actually, let's send both of them. You never know what opportunities might arise. Here we are going to start building a palisade wall, because I want to be safe from my frenemy. And that is going pretty well so far. So next turn we should have a quick look at the stats to see how people are doing. We can compare them a little bit. In multiplayer you can only see the stats of nations you've already encountered, but there you go. I can't remember if Senvon replied to my offer of Fraternal Harmony Pact. But I do feel like with the capturing of Zhang we have had a little bit of a kickstart, which is nice. Because that bumped up our population by another 15 or 16 now. And there's the Han force over here. We have our own troops lined up. We outnumber them a little bit, so we should be able to take them out. In addition, we had some experienced troops as well. And there's the there's a strong force over here, which I should probably fear. Can we recruit some troops here yet? No, we cannot. So this Hilu is in immediate danger, actually, at the moment. So let's see if we can force a peace treaty. I want some money to go with it, we agree. In addition, Ba has also agreed to our treaty, so we won't be raiding each other's farms. Yes, I might lose the city, so I just made a peace treaty, and hopefully they won't break it. I'm a bit stretched out too much. Much more than I would be comfortable with. My troops are all over the place, so I could be defeated at any individual opportunity there, which is somewhat dangerous for me. Alright, let's see. We're gonna increase our food production, I guess, or go for the rammed earth wall, because that will allow us later on to develop road construction as well, which could be nice. What I also want to be doing now, since I just finished the tech, I can enact the well field system. This will increase my unrest a fair bit, these land reforms, but it should give me an additional grain tax of 2 per person. So it should bring my economy, you know, a little bit of extra money. And even though that's just a little bit of money now, in the long run it should really pay for itself. Ooh, we only have 1 minute remaining. That's on turn. And we have a new heir, which is really good, because that will not only, you know, ensure the safe succession once my current faction leader dies, but it also brings me with another unit of bodyguard, with some of the heaviest infantry in the game. I'm also going to fortify the town of Zheng. There we go. And we're going to keep building farms. We have a stack without orders. Let's have a look. These guys over here, we're just going to continue scouting, I suppose. We can send you back and let you scout. See what the riches the world has to offer us. People are complaining about the rough start on this particular map. It is a bit of a rough start, which is why I'm so happy I could sneak capture Zheng. Because otherwise there would be very little room for expansion. And now I think the peace won't last for long. I want to take him out sooner or later so I can grow further. And I want to maintain good relationship with the my empire to the north by the Chinese player, by player Shang. And the reason for that is, I mean, there are a couple of reasons, but one of them is we don't have a, even though we're relatively close to each other, there is nothing in between worth fighting over. Is mountains and forests, so we should make good allies from that regard, as in we don't have any conflict of interest. Alright, that's very true, King of Manners. That is very true indeed. We're going to continue to scout ahead. Can we request another audience? No, we cannot. Should be scouting north as well, I guess. Oh, we're still farming everywhere, so there is little else to do at this point. The Wu, we do have potential for like a river-based or sea-based empire. We have a fair bit of coastline, lots of fish there. We have a nice river we can use for transport, so in the long run that could be interesting. The army to the south might turn on you. Is that what you're worried about? Yes, well, I am a little, to be honest. If they do it, I think I can muster the force to take it back, but I don't have the force there at the moment to defend it. I need to wait for the unit, or for the city to grow a bit bigger so I can recruit my own militias there. Otherwise I will have to send them in next turn from my Li, but that takes some time because I haven't cleared the forest on the way between my Li and Hilu yet. So there is a little bit to do there. Looks like they're passing me by, which is nice. And we finished our first wooden palisade, so that means that the city of Maili is much more secure now than it was before. And I'm going to recruit some more units, and I'm going to mostly use them to scout. So to the south and to the north, and I'm going to send them in different directions. So one I'm going to send here actually to reinforce. And one I'm going to send north to scout my frenemy of Shang. Here I'm going to continue to advance, and so are we here. So that's all going well. Shang needs to continue to farm for obvious reasons. We want to grow that population base, and the same goes for the town of Gusu. We have the money to build some more palisades up, but it takes a long time to construct them if you don't have the right or the good big enough population number. So I prefer to wait just a little bit. Otherwise you lose the money for a long time for, you know, it takes a long time for the money to actually have some effect on that. So I'd rather let the population grow a little bit. That's all there is to do for now. Oh, I forgot. I promised you guys to look at the stats. Let's do that next turn. See how we are doing population-wise. I think there are a couple of things you can compare your empires on, right? They're like the victory points and the culture points. A number of cities, a number of armies. But especially armies, because there is no, like, it doesn't take time to recruit an army. You can all do it in one turn if you have the manpower available. It doesn't say a lot how big somebody's armies is, it just says something about his standing armies, not his potential armies. So it's often better to look at the population size, because that is basically sets the baseline for your economy. So for a short-term war, yes, look at how strong their armies are. For a long-term war, look at their economy. How long can they support a high-intensity conflict? And if the answer is not very long, then you could be in a favorable position to start a war. Can I recruit here yet? No, population still not sizable enough. We're going to grow here. And in our capital, obviously, we can recruit some more troops over here. They are heavier troops, they are nobles, and I can zoom into them and we can see their body, their armor. These are tough guys. They are fully armored, have nice shields, and have a decent amount of discipline as well. So they are valuable troops to have. Valuable troops to hold the line and to break through enemy militia lines. Now let's have a look at those stats then. Alright, so here we are. Victory point wise, we appear to be leading so far. We're not a cultural nation. It seems that Sanvon or Ba is going for the cultural. We have 4 settlements, which is more than, as far as we know, everyone else. We can see that we have a more sizable population than most people, which is good, and a stronger military at the moment, which helps a lot with diplomacy. Now, the military also says something about our potential to strike again at Shang if we were to gather our forces. We fought a few battles, 3 only, and we didn't kill any civilians yet. We did kill a fair number of enemy units, while we also lost. So let's see if we could. I mean, we are not in a position to start war again with Shang. We need to gather our forces more. For example, send these 2 guys to the front, and we would need to secure Hilu a lot better than we're doing now. So let's recruit additional garrisons there, because it's not a walled city. It's going to be very vulnerable. Yeah, the zooming is one of the most cool features. I'm not actually doing it enough. You know, for the reason that it's not always the most convenient, especially on multiplayer. You are on the clock. But it is really cool to see, and there's a lot of detail in the terrain as well, and a lot of nice little features there. We are finding more. Actually, I'm going to set my nobles south. I'm going to use my militia instead to scout the area. Another wooden palisade has finished, so that's all good. And we could build something nice in Gusu to allow us to construct better troops, or recruit better troops. So I'm going to start building a bowyer. And bowmen are important for one big reason is that you need their fire arrows to burn down wooden palisades. So once the enemy starts creating fortifications, you're going to need those bowmen to destroy them. Dr. Beekman is not doing well. Sunvon is scouting, so Ba and Bai. If we could take on Shang in the next couple of turns, well, in the next 20 turns or so, we could be in a very strong position. But in order for that to happen, we must make sure that Yin is not going to attack us. They're not going to betray us, because I don't have the capability to fight on 2 fronts at the moment. But it seems that, or Yin, I'm saying Yin, I mean Shang, obviously. It seems that Shang is not having a good time either with the resources. Zoom in on the rhinos, please. Alright, let me do that in a bit, once we have the turn resolution done. Here we have some epic rhinos just minding their own business, and they provide us with a fair chunk of money. Look at those, we have some here as well, some lost. and we have more process, or more complete. We also can recruit another group of settlers, which will allow us to grow further, but that might lead us to have too many cities. And this will be a hard to defend area, I suppose. It's a tough decision. Let's wait a little bit before we commit to that. Instead, we're gonna recruit an army south. There we go. We are gonna get ready to do some nice invasions while we defend the homeland with weaker troops. Thanks, was nice seeing you here, Gage. Have a good day. Alright, let's select some new technologies. Earthquake, yes, I suppose. Some roof tiles will make our cities safer. And we're gonna continue here to increase our capabilities. So we're gonna go for shamanism, which will increase my culture. And our troops are lining up. The enemy has sent out some settlers. Well, they're not our enemy at the moment. And they just created walls over here. Look at that. They erected walls at this city. That will make our life a lot more difficult. So I want to take Yangdi before they lose the walls there. Or before they raise the walls there, sorry. Because next turn we will have the opportunity to recruit archers, so in the long run I think, you know, we can outdo them. But in the shorter period, probably not. Hilu is doing pretty well though, which is cool to see. I want to expand to these rhinos here. Technology warning, let's have a look. Let's go for road construction. And we need to research a different knowledge. So hot cold theory is nice because it reduces the casualties you have in victorious combat. And since I'm preparing for combat, that might be a wise choice. Now there's something else I probably should be doing. Is that... no, that's still one turn away. Stacks without orders. You guys are gonna return into the city, I suppose. More battles to our north. We can recruit more settlers, which is nice. We finished our bowyer. Let's strengthen our southern border with additional units. And I think it's time to declare war again. So we're going to take the city here while we send additional reinforcements. Again, we found a Bas scout. Oh, well, this would be a great location to settle. It's not actually farmland, so that's interesting. Let's continue on. He's got a nice little island here for his capital. I mean, not the most amount of farmland, still more than we do at the moment because of our rough terrain. A nice little protection. That's cool. That's sweet. I'm a little bit jealous of that. Some more stacks without orders, as always. Let's have a look. So these guys, yeah, just march a little forward. Now we're gonna go into war again, with the aim of getting ourselves yet another city. So let's see what people are up to. Sanvona is awfully quiet. He's very knowledgeable about the game. I've played several games with Dr. Beekman before, and also Cabbage. So we have. I'm not quite sure about the Shang player, but we have some experienced guys playing here. So it could be very, very tricky indeed. So we need to get an edge sooner rather than later. We got the first battle up. Oh, they founded another city. Yangcheng. That's interesting. Lots of battles erupting here all over the place. We managed to capture the city of Yangdi, and I'd like to keep it. This looks like a nice city. Has some resources. Is on a river. Pretty good. Or we can keep it. It's a small city. Its population was even smaller than I anticipated, to be honest. The AI has not been growing it too much. Just a single farm out there at this point. Or two farms actually, so why is the population so small? Regardless, we are going to put more pressure. So if we have been pushing on the enemy here, fleeing some or routing some units, there is still his leader though. So let's see if we can intercept him. We could start recruiting some bowmen soon. Hey, how's it going? Yes, well, he's supposed to be. He is supposed to be. I'm not sure what he's doing at the moment. How's that? You know the guy? Sending memes, most likely. He tends to do that, yes. He's Eric, our new intern. He was actually on the stream yesterday for the contest, the drawing contest. Ooh, he's trying to engage my troops over here. I hope we can take him out. We are fighting on several fronts now. Trying to intercept his leader here. Or chasing his rear guard. Let's see. He manages to push out our militia troop that were supposed to ambush the enemy. And he is running into our territory over here. So while we won some combat, our lands are being pillaged. So we're losing out money. Our people are upset. We're going to recruit additional troops. So let's have a look. I should be farming, of course. There's little farm ground left at the moment, so I should probably also start chopping some wood to make space for additional farming land later on. Town of Helu should also be farming. ABF guys always be farming, and Yangdi we're gonna let grow a little bit more, and even if we wanted to do something we could not. Here we are continuing the scout. Looks like we found Ba. Let's see if we can form an alliance with Shang against Ba. Alright, let's see. Turn time is running out, so we need to hurry. Can we recruit at Helu? Yes, we can. We can recruit some additional troops. I need to disband many troops after this war. But for now I need to recruit them to make sure I'm not losing any cities to them. I could potentially make a favorable peace where I puppet them. That might be interesting. Look at that. It's all on fire. This is online. We're playing online multiplayer here. There's some AI though. The yellow player here is AI. But the Shang to my north and the Ba to my north are players. Are you into strategy games at all? We're managing to route more troops. Sorry about not speeding up. He is fleeing to my force. And we managed to take another city. We're going to pillage this one. Going to destroy the settlement here. Ooh, and that is a major flood right there. We have our lands pillaged. We have several battle reports. Wow. And several of our cities are in danger. Look at that, we're getting raided here as well by a minor force. This could be a nice location for a city. And we're scouting with 3 units. So we are learning a lot about the world. We're not at all at the center of the map. We're very much at the periphery. So we have our own little land here, separated by the mountain range and these plateaus, which are not farmable for the most part. They're not fertile lands. So I could construct some more palisades, especially the town of Gusu. I think it's time. And I need to be recruiting archers if I'm gonna try and get to that gate. Additionally, I could try and make a peace now. They're much weaker than I. If I can get them to become my vassals, that might be worthwhile. Zarin saying, I find it very interesting to watch, but I'm rather bad at playing them. Well, that's why you can always play against the AI, I suppose. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's offer a peace for 50 turns and agree in exchange you become our vassal. Let's see if they want to do that. Only if we pay them pretty much all of our cash, and we're not going to be doing that. That's not worth it. I mean, I don't want this war to last too long. On the other hand, you know, I wouldn't want this war to last too long because of the money, because it costs a lot of money. So if I have to pay that amount up front just to end it, then there's no real point in it for me. We're taking out more forces there. Pushing up, and we're sending our first archer south. It's not going to be enough. Let's see. Shang accepted our alliance request, so they're going to help us now in the fighting. And in 2 turns, we'll be able to recruit more archers even. Now, the growth of our capital has now halted a little, and the main reason for that is that we're out of fertile ground for now. So we need to clear more ground and later drain the swamps and get some technology up so we can start farming the mountains and hills. They won't yield as much food. Well, they will yield as much food. They will require a bigger investment. So that was a rough starting location, and that's why it's so good we managed to get a hold of the town of Zhang, which is, you know, which has all this good ground. So this is going to be our de facto capital, and also the center of our trade hub once we get that going. Here we're going to continue to scout just to see what's there. More towns found. That's alright. They look nice. We have a stack without orders for change. We're going to move in. See if we can clear up those nasty remaining stacks. We're discussing here the way the resources have been divided. Do you have dedicated pottery in every city? No, I do not, King of Manners. Thank you for your great advice. That's not really worthwhile doing. And when I say not really, I mean really, really not. The problem is that for us, once we've taken care of Shang, in order to expand further, we would need to go past Ba or Shang. I always keep mixing up Shang and Han is not good. So yeah, once we defeated Han, in order to further expand, we would need to go through Ba or Shang. And we cleared up some farmland so we can grow further. We have some stacks without orders. We have some loot, which is obviously nice. Here we're just going to continue raiding a little, I suppose. What strategy game, according to you, is the most difficult? Well, I would dare you to look up War in the Pacific. If you can look that up, that will be one of the most difficult ones. That's a simulation of World War II, Pacific War. So U.S. versus Japan, and it also has the U.S. allies in it. And I think it's daily turns, so that's it's just freaking huge. That's, I think, one of the most difficult ones. Yeah, I would go for that one. Is that the infamous paratrooper one? No, that was in the same series, but a slightly more approachable one, War in the West. War in the Pacific I've never managed to play well myself. Alright, more fighting going on. Let's see if we can help Shang. Yeah, we have some AI factions, Qin and Zhao. So these guys over here and these guys. And they've been going at it for a long time. It's rather scary. So we have more loot, more money coming in. Always nice. Our archers are coming up. We can recruit probably more archers now. Only 2 more. Which is unfortunate. The next in 2 turns. But 4 archers should be enough, I think. And the city of Hilu will continue to grow at the cost of the city of Han. And we're burning all their farms here. For the simple reason that, well, some extra money. Yeah, there are floods at the same time there's drought. This is really a difficult map to play in. I thought we were a little bit unlucky with our start, with our farmland especially. But seeing what the others are going through, I think we've had a very fortunate start. And we should be able to start trading soon. Now what's this Hun force doing here? Is that a colony? They're gonna colonize this area. Look at that. They have a large party here. If they're gonna found a city there, they can do that. But I will found my own city right over here then to block their approach. There we go. This is free for all. It's every man for himself. I mean, I've made an alliance with my immediate neighbor to the north. There is Ba over here who is trying to expand into his probably 5th city. We're gonna start our assault as well. Trying to bring in as many archers as we can. So it's every man for himself. So there will be wars at some point. I'm not at all happy with this large Ba force over here. If I can annoy them by settling this area, this realm, that would surely secure also this part for me. And if he does settle a city there, it will be isolated. Let's be farming more. And we can recruit additional medicine, which will also reduce the amount of casualties we'll suffer throughout combat. That's going to be important as well. And here, of course, we want to continue scouting and see what Ba is doing. I have good relationships with the red player, Shang, but not at all with Ba. I think there will be fierce competition between us at some point. Waiting for the other players here, lots of stuff happening. We might be able to look at the stats again next turn, see how that's all happening. And we've started our siege. So it's all about knowing if our archers can breach the walls and can breach enough of them for our forces to capture it, and they can, and we capture the city, thereby ending Han as a player. Player eliminated, Han. And we're gonna capture this city and occupy it. Population is decreasing and is unhappy because, well, we destroy all the farms. So there's not going to be enough food. I'm going to return these troops north. They are experienced, which is very nice. I'm going to gather my archers in one place as well, I suppose. And now we have a large army and no enemy. So we have to choose. Do we disband most of the stacks we have? Which is probably the best thing to do. We're gonna disband these guys. It will save up on a lot of money. And we will be able to use that money for other goals. So it will cost us some experience. Ooh, that we didn't want to do all of them. It will cost us some experience, but in the end, it will make us wealthier for it. I'm gonna keep our archers, though. Let's see if we can exchange some information. I will show them my capital location in exchange for information about enemies. And Young wants to revolt, is in turmoil, so we cannot do anything about it, but it's not happy. So what I should probably do is send a bigger force inside to try and quell the unrest. Or we can't. No, I'm gonna disband these guys and just send the nobleman in. Can I recruit more nobles here? No. 16 more seconds. How are the stats going? Population, we are leading. Alright, he founded a city here and immediately sent in a strong garrison to defend the city. I'm inclined to send a force there at some point. After some more turns though. We need to clear up the situation also here first. That's all for now. We have plenty of money, so we could also start building a wall at the town of Yangyi. That will allow our first ring of cities to be completely safe. Here it seems we found Zhao. And also here. And Shang has started trading, but a little bit early. Let's have a look, waiting for other players here. We have the offer. They accept the offer. That will give us hopefully a little bit more information. Let's see. Yes, there are other cities over here across the sea. Very interesting indeed. We're gonna continuing to scout and find what's going on in the world. And here we can suddenly start farming again, so that's good. Try and get that population number back up. This population is losing, or is not growing. There is an enemy city over here. They want to found another city here. We will not let them. In fact, if they go for war, they can get it. We're gonna send more of our troops there. I'm just telling you guys, I'm at peace now. My days of war are over. Let's all live in harmony. Until your next war. No, of course not. More farming. And let's offer some money then to our friend. How much money does he have? Wealth adequate. Power is more or less equal. We're gonna offer him, like what, 750. That's enough to fund a palisade wall. I'm going to recruit more archers. Yan has a large garrison force there, look at that. Technology warning. We can get some more techs going. Let's go for the armorer. We have some stacks without orders, so they're going to be scouting more. This guy we're going to keep here. We might be forced to declare them war at some point. And there's a revolt somewhere. Did that happen before? I saw rebels. Sickness for a force, that is unfortunate indeed. And Qin has declared war on me. That's alright. We will leave their land. And there are savage floods on the other side of the map, and it causes rebellions and it causes problems. Now we're at the point of starting our next war. We're trying to chase off the enemy. We're gonna make war with Ba. We still have a good defensive alliance with Shang, so they're going to be our brothers in arms. They won't be declaring war on Ba 2, I suspect, because they're preparing to fight a war with someone else. But we will, to try and get the comparative advantage. While also trying to take out their leader by assaulting him and trying to get the surround on him. And that will hopefully cause him to lose some troops. And he has a force at the ready. He was anticipating this as well. We're closer to his settlement than to mine. And I'm asking Ba why he is fighting back. He had a stack there at the ready, so he was very much prepared for this eventuality. Alright, so we have an offer here. Shang accepted our payment. He has more troops on the way. We're gonna get out of there. But we are gonna try and engage him somewhere else. His leader survived though, that's a shame. We'll try and capture him. If we had killed him, he would have also gotten a significant authority hit. So, there is that. And we will be recruiting more troops, I think. Wherever we can. So Gusu can recruit more. Descent north. technology warning again, so we have more technologies to choose from. Gonna increase our culture. Culture also reduces the unrest levels in your city, so it's also very good for that. Oh, we're trying to disengage from here. He's recruiting his settlers, we are recruiting ours. He has a bigger force coming in though, so... But here we're trying to take his leader down. Let's speed up. And we should be able to manage this time around. Here his bigger stack does also join the fight. Well, so we are forced to run away from the battle, and he has control of the ground right there, right now. He's also sending in more reinforcements from here, which is interesting. Well, we are under retreat. We're gonna reorganize. Over here. And also this stack can now move north. We have an offer. Zhao wants us to reveal our capital location. Well, I don't see why. We're even finding Bao over here, which is interesting. We're going to recruit again more troops at the cost of our economy, obviously. But we're going to need these guys. Alright, so we are waiting now for what's happening next. He is saying that I started the attack. So we're reorganizing, reforming. There's no combat this turn so far, but he is spotting our additional army. And he's trying to hunt down our colonists especially. Fraternal Harmony Pact with Zhao, that's all fine and dandy. We're gonna use this to hopefully draw away his troops a little. Just ever so slightly. All the while, of course, recruiting more troops to send north. As a display of power. Let's see if we can get the city of Pingdu in our control. And we weakened him a little bit by killing his leader. So I think we're in a fairly good spot, but he won't just roll over for us. We will have to fight for it. And he could potentially found the settlement there right now if he wanted so. And he has some chariots, which is interesting. Which reminds me that I should probably increase my construction infrastructure here. So I can recruit better troops. Here we are fighting 2 additional enemy stacks. The difficult terrain here is tricky. If it were grassland, it would be easier to maneuver my armies. So he has a little bit of the terrain advantage. But strategically is more tricky for him because he has to defend 2 cities where I can invade 1 plateau. I asked Chang if he wanted to join my attack. We're gonna continue our march for Pingdu with at least 2 stacks. With 1 we're gonna try and spread out his forces with. And try and loot a little bit. We have an offer, information about enemies from Zhao. I think that's a good offer. We can learn from each other. So I learned more about Qin, I think. We research medicine, which is very good. Which is going to be very useful. They have 3 troops here. We have 4. So I think we're just going to try and invade it and try and take it. We have additional forces coming up here to annoy him and to see what's happening there. Have some stacks without orders, mainly our general, who's gonna retreat home. As well as our settler, who is gonna, again, try and draw some fire. Or perhaps scout a little. He put his forces outside of the walls, which is a very smart thing to do while he musters reinforcements. Nonetheless, we managed to take the city. We're offering peace, verbally at least. And he does not appear ready to take it, so we are gonna send our 2 other stacks to his other city, split up our forces, and see if we can do more damage like that. Here we were chased away, which is fine. Just gonna move somewhere else. And he is not yet ready to pursue peace, so we're gonna occupy this settlement. It grew pretty quickly because of the many fish the settlement offers. We're gonna try and keep expanding here. We are losing a lot of money per turn. Well, not a lot, but we are losing some. But I think it is gonna be worthwhile. See if he's gonna try and take the city back. Doesn't seem to want peace though. I'm going to mention it again, by the way, just for those of you joining us later. We're playing Oriental Empires multiplayer game. We just started today, this particular game. We have 5 people in total and some AIs. One of the AIs is already lost. Ooh, he's founded his city here. That is going to be our next target, guys. And I'm currently at war with Sanvon, and Sanvon, interestingly enough, is the guy who wrote the guide that has been posted last week on the page. So if you can see the page, be sure to have a look. It's if you can see the guide on the Steam store page, that's really great. In the meantime, of course, if you guys want to see more streams or have any comments or feedback for us, that'd be great. You can leave it here in the chat. Be sure to follow us if you want to see more of this. We'd love to get your follow and to get your assistance and support. Of course, if you want more information about the game, you can ask your questions here, or just go to the Steam product page. Just click the banner below this stream and it will take you right through to there. Should have all the information you might need. So now I have to decide, do I redirect my forces to his new city? I think so. So yeah, Shang is in a pretty difficult spot here because he really is at the small center between the two bigger continents. He's therefore very vulnerable, but also has very limited room to expand. There's a fire at Pingdu. Well, lucky him, I suppose. We're gonna try and take the city. Were we still at war with Qin? I don't see why. I don't mind a truce. No reason to fight you guys. Ah, Sunvon has quit the game. That's a shame. He was losing indeed to my forces. Strength in numbers is what I have. We will continue on. I will pursue peace with Basun. We have 2 cities ready to upgrade. I'm going to start actually with Zhang and not with my capital city. So that will be able to grow further and further indeed. And of course we will continue to farm. It's a shame Sanvon left. I would have liked him to stay on longer. He's a great fighter. We have stacks without orders still, our colonists. There's nothing more to colonize. I suppose we could settle here, but it's not farmable land, so we wouldn't really gain anything from it. So I'm just gonna leave them a little here. So we have more fights coming up, trying to take the city of Langzhong. Again, map is on fire. But we want to take this town. This is the town we wanted to settle for ourselves, and this is why we started the war. So we achieved our aims now, and I think we could be ready to pursue peace. I think with my alliance with Shang, and you know, if I have this as my border, I'm in a good spot to win the war in the end by points. So I'm going to make peace with Ba. They're much weaker anyway. And we're going to leave it at that. Perhaps they can pay me a little for the damages. There we go. We are going to make peace and we're going to keep this settlement. And I'm extending my offer to help Shang in their wars, in his wars, asking him where he would want my forces to be. I'm gonna disband this particular stack and get some extra money going. I'm gonna use my settler to scout. My Li is being upgraded. We're saving up so we... Or Zhang is being upgraded. We're just saving up to upgrade my Li as well, which should hopefully happen in turn or two. We have our crafts unlocked, so we can continue the path there. Let's see, we don't have any edicts yet. Our economy is quite good just by sheer population size at this point, I think. We can compare a little bit. Yeah, so population size, we are quite dominating. Also, victory points, we're not dominating, but we are winning. Culturally, we're doing terribly. We're not at all a cultured people. We are a warlike people for sure. I'm gonna hit the end turn button. This is actually, I played many games with Sanbon. Most of them not to completion. It was at the time where we were still testing the multiplayer. And it was always fun to play with him or against him. He's a very, very proficient player. He wrote a terrific guide, which you should all have a look at. And it's just very good to see in general, to learn from him and his tactics. He was beating me, you know, man to man. He was killing more of my troops than I was killing of his, by a fairly large margin, I should add. But we had strength in numbers. We had the economy to support it. That's why we could start that war. We just had so many stacks that even with superior tactics, he was not able to turn the tables. Now I'm gonna send my troops to help my friend Shang, and I'm not gonna send a huge army though. I'm just gonna send these guys over here. I could disband them otherwise. I'm not gonna recruit a follow-up army or an invasion army. I have no interest in prolonged combat now. I want to take some time to make the most of my advantageous position economically, to try and grow quick and develop quick. So announcing that we're going to be playing for another 15 minutes or so. And then we'll be calling it a day. And Dr. Beekman has to go to work as well. I actually have to leave work. And especially Yan is Cabbage. Playing Yan is a bit of a shame because he's fighting a very interesting war here against Shang, against my ally. So I'm going to help my ally because I want to have a peaceful northern border over here. gonna send out more troops. We have our settlement upgrade complete, so that's very good. So the city of Zhang is now a bigger city with a larger range of influence, and that will certainly allow it to grow further. But it might also become time to set up a trade network here, now that we have all directions to trade in. And we're going to make this our trading capital. So we're going to build a bazaar. Now we're sending out our troops, going to Yin. Trying to march across the land bridge to the other continent. The first time the troops of Wu will ever get there. And discover the enemy there. We have no clue. They're probably going to be battle hardened. They're probably going to have some large stacks there, I assume. So my force might not be, you know, a big force. Considering the fights they may have going on there. But it might just tip the balance into the favor of Shang, and that's what I want. I don't want Shang to start dominating the area. I want them to be securing the area for me. As long as Shang is my ally, it means that I will have full access to that land bridge, while my enemies do not. And that's going to be what's important, because as long as we can secure Shang's access there, I can continue to grow on the other side. At the cost of a little bit of Ba. I think I should give Shang some of Ba as well to keep him happy, but mainly of Qin and Zhao. I think that's gonna be the tactic. So we have farms complete, plenty of them, so, you know, gotta work on that. Unrest is becoming an issue in Gusu, so we're not gonna deal with that right now. Same goes for Hilu, and same goes for Yangdi. So I think we need to wait a little for unrest levels to go down, actually. My Li is still constructing. It's taking a long time. Of course, that's in part because they're also clearing land. They were clearing farmland over here. That certainly increases the time it takes to do these things. I think that's all for now. We don't have any new edicts to kick off. Our troops are marching. It's going to take some time. Ba still has a large force in his capital, and he has some troops all over the place, so I should remain mindful of his intentions. In a short war, they can hurt my economy. In the long war, I'm not afraid of them at this point, unless they suddenly get an alliance with Qin and Shang, and they all team up together. That might be problematic for me, but other than that, pretty safe. Shang is also sending more armies himself. Gonna just merge my two stacks here. No, I'm not gonna declare war. So news of fire in Jiangzhou. That's unfortunate for Ba. The thing is, Ba is still, you know, a power to deal with. I mean, I could have continued the invasion, but it felt a tiny bit like Well, it would have costed me a lot anyway, and I don't want to anger Shang, because Shang also wants Yicheng, I'm sure of it. I think he lost his city here, so we definitely need to send some more troops. Problem is my unrest levels are pretty high, so I don't want to recruit too many troops here. Perhaps in Zheng. Stacks without orders. Who's that? Gonna be scouting, right? So did you guys, you know, you might notice we got an update released, last week, I think, with battle AI improvements. I haven't been zooming into battles enough to show you guys. It's good to see the AI building roads, by the way. We should be building roads at some point. We have more updates, of course, coming up. We're continually patching the game and working on it based on feedback. One of the things that's always going to be worked on most likely is going to be balance, since it's very tricky to get that right. Alright, continuing our march through Shangland. I stopped farming for a little, like I said before, because unrest was getting dangerously high. I have awkwardly few troops in my... I should actually recruit something here. In my cities. And I have more cities than I can handle authority-wise. That's also causing some problems. Here at Pingdu, I suppose I could send in some more troops to assist. The same goes for here. So some of the fresher troops in as well. Our heartland is pretty safe, it's far out. As long as we have Langzhong, and as long as we have a good relation with Yin, we have a nice buffer, if you will, from our heartland. And we are pretty safe to develop. So where I thought initially we had, it was a problematic start, at least for a capital placement perhaps it was, but for the region we are in a good position. It's also of course because we managed to get rid of Shang as quickly as we did. It was very fortunate of me to establish good relationships with Shang. I didn't know they had such a strategically important position at the time. But it was good fortune indeed. They are small, so they wanted the alliance. They feel threatened, so they wanted the alliance. They will allow me free access across. So it has many advantages indeed. So they're going to be a loyal ally. And they're going to secure my border. All I have to do is send excess troops. So it's time for our first bit of power projection, if you will. There are no further threats to the heartland at this point. Ba's incursion into this area would have been, because that would have increased or greatly increased our border to defend and leave us vulnerable, at least from the north side. Whereas here we have that nice little mountain range. So as long as we have this city as a buffer, and it will wall the city pretty quickly and turn it into some sort of fortress. As long as we do that, we are in a pretty decent good spot. Our unrest levels are still fairly high, which is unfortunate indeed. But it seems that our side was much more densely populated than their side, that across the bridge. But as soon as the unrest is getting reduced a bit, we can start getting some stronger troops there. And I'm gonna hit the end turn button for our final turn this stream. Where our armies are marching across the land bridge to the eastern continent, which is dominated by Yan and Wei, which is why it's called the Yanwei continent. But of course we want it to be called the Shang Yanwei continent, because we want to have full passage through our proxy. Even if we don't get to break through, we will just reorganize ourselves. But look at that, we have moved our armies there. We're not fighting yet, we're just getting into position, and they're seeing what's coming. And Shang has greatly prepared, so they're sending in troops, but Bai has also a force there. So we have 4 players gonna start the conflict here, all ready to fight. That is just terrific, really awesome. So hopefully you guys can join us again next week when we're gonna see how this battle will turn out. I'm not quite sure, but it sure is gonna be interesting. Thank you very much everyone for watching. I'm gonna end the game right here. I'm gonna actually save it. just to be sure. And I'm going to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you will be there again. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to check out the game on Steam. And we'll be talking soon. Alright, bye-bye everyone.